Hello, everyone. Today, I wanted to do a sales training. I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook today about Black Friday. Everybody's sales are going on. And so I just wanted to give some sales reminders to people. I'm not going to pretend to be the expert on sales. There's probably much more efficient salespeople out there, but I just want to show you what's worked in my business and my personal thoughts on sales and practices that I use. So I hope this helps you guys. All right, so this one's a little bit controversial, but I like to just trust the timing of my clients. So there are a few different sales philosophies. Some sales tactics are more aggressive, and that you should always kind of get someone to sign with you when they are in that initial conversation. Some people's sales tactics are, if they don't buy by a certain deadline, they're disqualified. But for me, and maybe it's just the work that I do, but in lead generation, a lot of people come to me and they inquire about the service, or they are just interested, or maybe we're having a casual conversation that leads to a discovery call. And a lot of people aren't initially ready to purchase. Now, some definitely are. They know it's the right thing for them. They sign on the call. And some people are a little bit more hesitant because they have some things to think about, and they really just want to know that this works well for them. And this is what I'll say. So I'll say that most people who have come to me and they are not ready to buy yet actually do end up coming back around in the future, and they do purchase from me, whether that be a few days later, a few weeks later, up to like a year later. I have a client that I was working with earlier in the year that now wants to jump back into things almost a year later. And so it is really funny. If I feel like sometimes if you use those aggressive sales tactics and you're saying like, no, you got to sign now, that turns people away who would have eventually come back to you. But I may be missing sales that way too, because I don't typically take that aggressive sales tactics. It is funny though, because over the last week, two people have commented on this who became clients. One person in my group program said she really appreciated that, we had had an initial conversation. I think I had told her about my services. She'd come to a webinar, and then maybe a month later, she was like, okay, I think I'm ready to purchase your course. And it was just the right timing for her. So super excited to get started with her and just see how that relationship builds. And then I had a done for you client. We were on an initial discovery call a couple weeks ago. It went really well. And then I sent her over a proposal. And at first she was like, I don't know if my business is at the right stage. Sent her a message back, like, totally respect your timing. Like, I'm here when you need it. And then, I don't even think it was a week later. It must have been a few days later. She reached out and she was like, actually, no, like I thought about it and I'm ready to start with you. And so now we're in contract to start together. And so I just want to put this out to you guys. Sometimes, it's just someone's timing and it's nothing about you, your process, your sales. They just need to lead themselves to the sale. And honestly, like I find these clients really empowered. Like they come in and they're empowered. I'm not having to hold their hand through it and be like, yeah, you made the right decision to buy this, or, any of those fear or scarcity. Like they talked themselves through this, they made the decision, they came to me and they bought the service or product. And so typically they turn into really great clients because they self-led them to saying yes for this. All right. It takes an average of 7 to 11 touch points before a client is actually ready to buy from you. So I've heard this phrase different ways. I've heard 7, I've heard 11, I've heard 10, I've heard everything in between 9. But again, the first time that someone sees your post about your service or product, or the first time you personally invite them to this, it may be a no. But as you keep producing content, as you keep hosting events, as you keep putting yourself out there, eventually, if this is right for the client, that is what convinces them to buy. So I've had a lot of talks with my business coach about like, oh, I'm putting out a lot of content and I don't see anything right now. And it's funny because the way she described it to me is, say it takes, 30 touch points, each video that you're making, each training you're doing, maybe that's like 1/30th of the way there for them. And it's so funny because I had that conversation with her about a month ago when I was launching my group program, and it went from crickets to so much activity happening super fast. And so that was after making, I don't know, like 5 to 10 videos at that point and resources and really just pouring into the community. So I would say don't hesitate to either keep talking about your offer, keep putting out content, and just keep going, because there's been mentors and coaches that I've hired that I was literally stalking for like a year on Instagram. And every single time their content would pop up, like I would take a second look at it and be like, oh, this is interesting. Like maybe one day I'll work with them. And then, they had another testimonial pop up. And so each one is kind of along the way getting you to that end goal of purchasing. Okay, don't underestimate workshops, lead magnets, and calls. Again, the more that you are kind of giving your community, helping them for free, they can only imagine what you would do if you're working with them in a paid container. And the more your potential client sees of this, the better. So most people that purchase from me, we've either done a free call, they've had a lead magnet, they've come to one of my workshops, and same with me when I think of like what I've bought in the past. So the coach I currently work with, I went to one of her workshops and we had been talking for like 6 months. There's other programs I've bought where, again, like I watched someone's Instagram lives for like a year, or I was on their stories. So don't underestimate the power of these. A lot of times when you do actually get the client and you're like, hey, where did we first connect? It'll lead back to a free resource where you gave them value in the past. All right, next one is focus on the client in front of you. So I know we're all trying to grow our businesses, and during Black Friday, there is this huge pressure on sales and like bringing so many people into your community. But I challenge you this. What if you focus 100% on the client right in front of you, when they're in front of you, and when you're doing their work this week? So if you're doing behind the scenes or done for you work, like if you're just fully devoted to giving that client a good result, and if you're on a call, just like 100% focused on that human in front of you. Because if you are truly providing transformation, you'll have these clients keep coming back to you, refer you business, cheer you on, give you rave reviews. Even if you're at the stage where you are trading work, you're doing free work, you're helping a family member, all of this like comes back around to you. So I would say, if you are struggling to get sales, or you're looking at people with these massive communities, like all you have to do is provide a transformation for someone right in front of you. And honestly, that could be you too. So don't underestimate the power of just working with what you have right now, being really grateful for it, and getting the best transformation you can in that aspect. And the thing I love the most is service before sales. So this is actually something that I talk about in my course. This is a principle that I firmly believe like in business energetics, because whenever you're at the point where you're in this lack phase, where you're just like, I 100% need clients, like I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills without these clients, it can seem really overwhelming. But when you start the day and you're really focused on like, hey, who can I help today? Like who needs help and how can I help them? Sales is a byproduct of that. So there's been times where I had like no clients in my lead generation business and I was stressed to the max, and I went on Facebook groups and saw people who needed help and just literally gave them all the advice that I could, poured my heart out to them, focused on helping people, and the sales always came after that. So be in a energetic of service. The more you serve people, the more they're going to be like, oh, she can actually help me. And then inevitably you'll have clients. What's funny about this is there's actually been times in Facebook groups where I'm helping someone and someone just sees that and they want to work with me, and I haven't even helped them personally. So that's what I would do if you're in that scarcity mindset right now, if you absolutely need clients, is just see how you could help every single day. Walk away, be like, okay, if I didn't sell anything today, did I at least serve someone? Did I make a difference in someone's business, in someone's life? And how did that go? Because the more you do that, I promise you that clients will come. It's always worked for me. All right. And then last but not least, actually make sure you're inviting people into your offer. This seems really straightforward, but it is so missed. So, when I was launching this group program initially, I was like, why are people not buying? It's such a great offer. What the heck? I would message people, and I would say like 95% of them were like, what is it that you do? What do you offer? Like, they literally didn't know that I had Lead Generation Accelerator. And some of you watching this probably don't even know I have Lead Generation Accelerator. It's my 3-month program helping you get 3 clients. It's a course, it's a live community, it's a group coaching. And it's funny because I feel like I post about it nonstop. I message people about it. And yet people still don't know. So don't forget to just invite people into your offer. If you're talking to someone and they're a really great fit, be like, hey, I think this program could be for you. What do you think? If they say no, that's great. They're making a decision and you could respect that, continue on the conversation. They say yes, maybe they were looking for something like this and they just literally didn't know you had it. So don't forget to invite people either. And that kind of wraps up the sales training. So if you are launching something for Black Friday, and you're going through a sales cycle right now, I wish you the best of success. If you have more of an evergreen product, this will help you as well. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. So I hope you guys have a great holiday week, and I'll be putting out more content for you.